Welcome back to This Is Not CBC.
Remember when Canadians were told you have the right to protest? Oh, how quaint. Fast forward. You show up, you march, you voice your anger, and the government says, "Thank you. Now we're freezing your bank account. Clear out that intersection." That was the Freedom Convoy in 2022. The government invoked the Emergencies Act. No go zones, seized funds, towed trucks, all in the name of protecting democracy. A federal court later found that act was not justified. So, yes, rights until the state says otherwise. And if you think that was a one off, buckle up. Look at the labor rights. When employees have the legal right to strike, to collectively bargain, that's supposed to be protected. But guess what? The government says, nah, not here. From the insurance and economy file, the majority federal government intervened in the strike of Air Canada flight attendants. Less than 12 hours after the walkout, the government forced them back to work and into binding arbitration under Section 107 of the Canadian Labour Code. The union said this undermined their constitutional right to strike. The government said, but the economy. Either way, your right to work action canceled. Ports, docks, and fisheries, same deal. The federal government intervened in major port shutdown disputes, ordering workers back to work via binding arbitration, telling them your red line is not negotiable if trade is at risk. Even though the workers were right to fight, ready to assert their rights, the state stepped in to override them. And teachers, while this example is provincial, but the trend is national, in Alberta, 51,000 teachers walked out. The government introduced legislation using the notwithstanding clause in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms to force them back to work and ban their rights to strike until 2028. Yes, you heard that right. Legislative override. Their right to job action shelved. What this means in plain language, the rights you thought were yours, protest rights, strike rights, bargaining rights, are being gnawed away piece by piece. Because if you cannot fight, if you cannot walk off, if you cannot protest, then your leverage, your voice, your value diminished. When the government says we're protecting Canadians, ask which Canadians? The ones who keep working silent or the ones brave enough to stand up and say, not this time? Because every time I see a massive labor dispute where the state intervenes to end the strike rather than negotiate, I think you can't threaten the system will threaten you. And when protest becomes punishable by freezing your account or towing your truck, maybe it's time to ask, who's this government really protecting? This is not resistance of convenience. This is not standing for rights when it's easy. This is watching rights get rolled back quietly, legally, for the economy, for the children, for the national interest. And we are the ones left outside the room while it happens. This is not CBC. This is someone who remembers what rights look like. And I'm calling out the government. Don't tell us you're protecting our rights when you're the ones glossing them out of existence. If you believe in rights that matter, you better pay attention. Because when the state says essential service, back to work, the answer should not be silent obedience. Thanks for watching.